foreclosures and bank repossessions, whether it was on a serious jobs program that would confront the fact that 20% of the people in this country are either woefully underemployed or unemployed, whether it was a rational health care policy. And so they used the forces of the state to attempt to erase the movement, physically erase the movement, and in a concerted effort. And let's not be naive, Barack Obama was at the center of this. This was a federal effort. Barack Obama is no friend of Occupy. And what happened is that after they physically knocked this movement off balance by taking away their logistical centers, they then began to attempt to demonize the movement to the wider public. Because if that movement can be demonized and severed from the mainstream, it's easily controllable. And the idea was to demonize it, and I think they used the Black Bloc to do that. And then to channel that energy through Van Jones' Rebuild the Dream back into the dead political system. The fact is, we are up against people who have tremendous resources to destroy us. And we have to begin to fight back smart, because they do not want us to succeed. I have no problem with Black Bloc anarchism. I have a problem with Black Bloc anarchism grafting itself onto a nonviolent movement. And we have to be nonviolent, and we have to be transparent, because we can't beat them at their own game. Go back and read Václav Havel's 1978 essay, The Power of the Powerless. Living in truth. What terrifies them is that we speak a fundamental truth about the corruption and the criminality of power, that if it resonates with the mainstream, has the capacity to isolate that power elite. I covered the revolution, most of the revolutions in Eastern Europe, including East Germany. East Germany was one of the most efficient police states in the world, the Stasi state. For every 63 East Germans, there was a police informant, and yet a nonviolent movement brought them down. And how? Because it drew the forces, especially the foot soldiers, to the side of the demonstrators. And when it began mostly with Lutheran pastors in Leipzig, candlelit vigils, and then suddenly exploded. 70,000 people are marching through the streets of Leipzig, and Erich Honecker, the communist dictator, sends down an elite paratroop division to shoot the crowd. And when they get there, they go into the barracks, and the paratroopers are crying and weeping because they have relatives in the crowd, and friends in the crowd, and brothers in the crowd, and they never fire. And at that point, Honecker's finished. He lasts another week in power. The Russian Revolution was a nonviolent revolution. What broke the Tsar after the Petrograd riots, bread riots, was when they sent the Cossacks in, and instead of crushing the crowd by force, they fraternized with the crowd and joined them, and the Tsar abdicated on his train back from the front. The violence in the Russian Revolution came afterwards, when Lenin and the Bolsheviks carried out a putsch, and the Western Entente powers raised a counter-revolutionary force and started the Civil War. Most revolutions are actually non-violent. This is a movement that is different from the Civil Rights Movement. It's not about a minority within the society seeking justice. This is a movement that has the capacity to harness the energy of the majority. I'm speaking tactically. I'm trying to think of the best way to bring these people down and prevent them from asserting what they would like to do to this movement, which is cut it off from the mainstream.
Thank you so much for what you've done within the... Do you have plans to stop them from sneaking through SOFA and Trans-Pacific trade agreement?
Well, I'm part of 2 lawsuits against the government. I'm part of the ACLU lawsuit against the FISA Amendment Act, which is the Supreme Court has just agreed to hear. And I'm already involved in this lawsuit. I have no plans to take on a third. Why not? Let's get someone in the back. Go ahead.
Yeah, in Pine Ridge, did you ever meet a man named Alex Whiteplume? He's a rancher who raises buffalo and he plants industrial hemp, which the feds keep ripping up. And
No, we didn't. We were with Leonard Crow Dog. He was pretty cool.
Can you talk about the psychology of national labor leaders that did not put up a primary challenger to Obama when he had done nothing for Barchek, and they knew